I started sharing my premium betting picks with the public 254 weeks ago. So that was like 5 years ago. Now listen to this. With the week that just ended, we enjoyed our most lucrative week ever, posting a stunning 26-5-1 record. I can show you the detailed bets in a few seconds, but please be aware of the fact that by risking just 1 unit per play, we enjoyed a profit of 17.99 units. So here are the detailed bets. So you can see all of them on your screen right now. And in this column here, I am entering the value 0 if the pick lost, 1 if it was a winner, and 0.5 if it was a push, which occurred with the Minnesota -7 bet on against the New York Liberty in WNBA. So you can see a lot of ones in this column. So in total, we had a 17.99 unit profit after racking up 26 wins, 5 losses, and 1 push. And in fact, we have been destroying the bookies since mid-December with something like a 50 or 60 unit profit at mjpicks.com. This is the place to go if you want to gain access to my premium picks, which means plays that are rated 5 stars out of 5. And speaking of premium picks, I have one for you in this video. Now in total, I will present 4 MLB predictions for Monday, August 4th, but one of them is graded 5 stars out of 5, so buckle up, my friend. Let's make some profit again today. All right, now, as far as free plays are concerned that are shared on YouTube, last week we got a 13-7 record. Now we had a bad Monday, but then we crushed the bookies from Tuesday until Friday, so let's keep it up. In fact, you can see the plays from the last video I made. So on Friday, we had 3 wins and 2 losses, including the Red Sox pulling off the upset against Hunter Brown and the Houston Astros. All right, now let's move on to today's pick for August 4th. And like I said, I'm going to present 4 plays with you. Now, the first one concerns the Houston-Miami game. And in this match, I am betting the Astros money line. The current best odds are around plus 100, which is the same as 2.0 if you are more familiar with decimal odds. But among the 4 picks that I'm about to reveal to you, this is the one that I like the least. It is graded 2 stars out of 5, which means I believe the return on investment is around plus 2%. All right, now let's review some arguments supporting this play. The first question is, can the Marlins do the impossible and win the NL East division ahead of a couple of heavyweights, the Mets and the Phillies? After winning 13 of their past 17 contests, they are now 7.5 games back of the leaders, the Phillies. Now, I don't think that the impossible will happen, but their fans are getting excited, and it's also fun to see the team with the lowest payroll making such a good run, especially given all the talk surrounding the salary cap for next season. Are they going to do it or not? That's the question. Now we have 2 ordinary pitchers on the mound. Jason Alexander gets the call for the Astros. He was recently acquired by the Athletics, and he's done a little better with Houston, posting a 4.12 ERA, but he remains quite hard to trust, I have to be honest with you. Now for Miami, we have Sandy Alcantara, who is having a nightmare season. He is not the same at all since returning from a long stint on the sidelines. This year, he has obtained a 6.36 ERA. Granted, he is coming off 2 straight scoreless outings at the Cards and at home against San Diego. So in 12 innings of work, he has given up 0 run. So is he turning the corner or not? Well, my answer, unfortunately, is no. He still appears quite shaky. If you look at his last outing, he only got 55 strikes out of 94 pitches, which is not that good. Now, in this case, we also have a betting system called the cold team versus hot team matchup that supports the Houston pick. It recommends betting the road team if they have lost at least one game in a row, and if they're squaring off against a home club that is riding a winning streak of length at least 4. Now, in the current case, Houston has dropped its last 3 games, whereas Miami is riding a 5-game winning streak. So by following the rules, we must bet the visiting team, Houston. Now, out of the 19 betting systems that I have developed, this is not one of my favorite ones, so it may be in my bottom 7 or 8. It tends to pick too many teams per week on average, so it's not picky enough for my taste. However, this season, so far, it has produced a small gain of 1.06 unit, and last season, it posted huge gains, a 19.75 unit profit. Again, I'm always tracking the performance of my picks or my selections by pretending as if we are risking just 1 unit per play. So given its good performance from the past 2 years, I am trusting it a little bit more, but I also need more arguments favoring a team before pulling the trigger. And in this case, I think it is worth taking a shot on the Astros money line at positive odds. All right, let's move on to my second pick, which is the New York Mets and the -1.5 run line. The corresponding odds right now are around +115 in American format, which is the same as 2.15 in decimal odds, and this is a 3-star play. So in this case, we have New York, who is just half a game behind their division leaders, the Phillies. Meanwhile, the inconsistent Guardians occupy the second spot in the AL Central Division, but they remain 8 games behind the Detroit Tigers. Sure, the Guardians are 4-2 during their last 6 games overall, but this recent run was acquired against weaker opposition. They faced the lowly Rockies and also the Minnesota Twins. Now, meanwhile, after winning 7 in a row, the Mets got swept by the Padres before suffering a 2-1 series loss against the San Francisco Giants. But I strongly believe they will bounce back with a good series win against Cleveland. Sorry. So Sean Manaea is nearly at full workload at this point. Now, it's interesting to note that he has given up exactly 1 run in each of his 4 appearances during the 2025 campaign. And in total, he has posted a superb 2.08 ERA along with an eye-popping 0.87 whip stat. Now, meanwhile, Slade Cecconi's first year in Cleveland has done wonders for him. He has surrendered 3 earned runs or fewer in 11 of 13 starts. But I would not be surprised if he has a down performance today against a very motivated and talented squad. Keep in mind that the Mets own a great 38-18 home record this season, so I feel like we have some value here with positive odds on the run line. So that is my second selection, which is on your screen right now. All right, let's take a very quick break by showing you some footage from the oldest of my 2 golden retrievers named Cooper, who is now 4 years old. All right, it's time to move on with a third MLB prediction, which is rated 5 stars out of 5. So this is a premium pick today. I'm betting the over in the first half of the Brewers versus Braves game. More precisely, as you can see on your screen, I'm taking over 4 during the first half of this game. And the best odds that I was able to find about half an hour ago were -110. You can see the screenshot taken from Bet365. We also had a line of minus 115 with Caesars, minus 120 with Steak. Sorry about my voice today. And also minus 125 with BetMGM, BWin, Pinnacle, Sports Interaction, and so on. Now, with some sports books, the line is 4.5 at maybe more advantageous lines. If that is the only option available to you, then you can go with it. But I prefer to go with over 4, even if the corresponding odds are lower. All right, now, Milwaukee's offense has been on fire. Here is the number of runs they have scored in their last 6 matches. 14, 8, 16, 3, 9, and 8. So if you do the calculations, the average is 9.7 runs scored per game, which is super impressive. Now, Atlanta's offense has not been too bad either. If you focus on their 6 most recent matches, they have scored an average of 5.7 runs per game. Now, starting for Milwaukee is Quinn Priester, and he appears to be having an awesome season if you focus on his great 10-2 record and 3.27 ERA. However, if you look at his whip stat, which to me is a better indicator of future success, he is being just a bit better than average. Remember that the league average regarding the whip stat is 1.30, and Priester's whip stat is 1.23 this season. So he may not be as great as most people believe. Now, recently acquired from the Cardinals, Eric Fede is having an awful year. He has posted a 5.33 ERA and a dreadful 1.50 whip stat. You just cannot trust this guy against an explosive Brewers offense. So to me, based on these findings, the first half total is too low at 4, so I am taking the over for sure. So that's my third pick. And again, this is a 5-star pick. So let's bring out my lucky lobster bell to announce this play. All right, now my fourth and final selection in this YouTube video is the San Diego Padres money line at Arizona. The current odds are around minus 130 right now, or 1.77 in decimal. And this is not a premium pick, but it was fairly close. It is rated 4 stars out of 5. All right, in this case, well, San Diego is looking for some payback. If you have been following me for years, you know that I value a lot the revenge factor. And in this case, San Diego is looking for some revenge. Why? Because they are facing Brandon Pfaadt, and the 26-year-old hurler beat them less than a month ago by tossing 8 solid innings. And in those 8 innings, he gave up just 2 runs across 4 hits. So the Padres remember that game vividly, and they will be looking for some revenge, and I think they will get that revenge. Now, Brandon Pfaadt is in his 3rd year in the big leagues, and it's not going so well. He has obtained a 5.11 ERA. Now, his counterpart will be newly acquired from the Athletics once again, J.P. Sears, who will be looking to make a good first impression. So, of course, he will be more motivated, and his teammates will want to make him feel welcome by providing him with a victory as well. It's interesting to note how Sears' whip stat has been super consistent from year to year. Let's look at his whip stat during his first 4 years in the big leagues. 1.29, 1.26, 1.22, and this year 1.27. So it's been quite consistent. Now the Padres have won 7 of their past 8 games overall, so they are really making a charge for the top spot in the NL West division. Right now, they are only 3 games behind the Dodgers, who can feel San Diego breathing down their necks. Now, as far as Arizona is concerned, they are coming off 2 straight wins against the lowly Athletics, but prior to that, they had been defeated 6 times in a row. So that pretty much eliminated them from playoff contention. Their motivation level is probably not very high, so I really expect the Padres to win, and we have some very reasonable odds of minus 130 in this case. So I really like this play as well. All right, so a big thank you for watching. Did you know that I have released a few weeks ago super early NFL picks for week number 1? I invite you to watch this video that has already generated more than 4,000 views. So I invite you to click the little card that is appearing at the bottom of your screen right now to watch those NFL picks. I'm Professor MJ. I'm looking forward to talk to you again tomorrow. Cheers, my friend.